in reference to the economic developments during President Obama's administration, and he has now promised to talk about some of the possibilities in terms of what could be done if others were to perhaps cooperate with the president. Let's start off, Dr. Parachuri, and end it with some of the ideas that we talked about here.
Okay. One of the things which he has done is, number one, he has reduced the unemployment rate to 7.5 to 7.6%, somewhere in the middle. Even though the growth rate this year is only 1.8%, next year they are expecting around 3.2% growth rate, which would mean that we're going to have an average growth rate. Now, another thing about the unemployment rate. Unemployment rate only, it does not show any increase even though new jobs have been created. The reason being, number of these discouraged workers, we call, who did not want to even look for a job because they see smart guys could not get a job, how can they get a job? So they are discouraged, so they are all back into the labor market, and they are looking for jobs, and so they are getting jobs too. So even though the administration has done extremely good job in creating new jobs, the unemployment rate does not show in there. And before we know it, before this administration is over, and the second term, we could expect to be a conservative estimate to have around 6% of unemployment, which is acceptable for most of the people. Now, in this 6%, still thousands, hundreds of thousands of workforce is still unemployed. But the thing is, the way our economy structured, a 6% is a reasonable, acceptable. We have what we call the terms called frictional unemployment. A lot of people change jobs, and during that time they are still considered to be unemployed. A number of people moving from, let's say, from Nashville to Los Angeles because they have a new job there. So it takes about, even though they have a job here, they are quitting that job and moving to, and it may take about 2 weeks for them to settle down. So during that time, they are considered to be unemployed. That's why the unemployment rate looks a lot higher than the real one. And that 6% is a very conservative estimate, and which is also acceptable even by the liberal economists.
Which means that there are some folks as well out there who, no matter what the economy might be, they're
still complaining.
They're not willing to work.
Right.
You see, and so I guess that's, that makes sense.
Yes, and that's why we still see this unemployment rate is not going down as fast as people hoped, because a lot of new people are coming into the labor force. These are the people who are not even looking for a job. These are all discouraged workers.
People who are now optimistic in terms of the possibility of finding a job compared to being pessimists without earlier, didn't even want to go out and look for a job.
Yeah, during the Bush administration, you saw hundreds of thousands of workers are being laid off. And as you all know that there were a number of tax advantages given to the rich folks. The top 5% of the population in this country got all sorts of tax breaks. And the first thing which President Obama has done, stopped all those things, tried to eliminate those things. And as a matter of fact, he has also given let's say, a 2% break in the payroll tax today. So that means if somebody is making $50,000, 2% of that means $1,000 is going to be in their pocket, rather than that much is taken away. So he has been providing us with a lot of incentives so that we can go out and spend. When we are spending, that means it's creating more jobs for more people, because these businessmen, they have to hire more people to service us. So when I say us, we mean those of us who have jobs. And if you look at this, go around the country, as I said, the infrastructure. earlier, we were talking about. Hundreds of thousands of workers who are on the construction industry, they are having jobs. So they are, spending all that money, a good amount of that money. They may save a little bit, but most of that money is going to the businessmen and women, and they in turn hire more people in order to service these people because they are buying their goods and services.
And so you would still contend, I think, Dr. Paruchuri, that the government really has a responsibility in terms of getting the economy up and moving again, and if the government took a greater role, which is to say not only President Obama, but those who might wish to cooperate with him, we
yes,
would be able to overcome some of these.
We will be definitely improving our economy. And of course, we have this health care. Number of people complained about the health care, new premiums, and number of rich folks have to pay higher premiums and all that. So what? They can afford to pay. That is equity. That is justice.
That is right.
And so here, when we look at our folks who are suffering without even a decent roof. And talking about the roof, President Obama has done an extremely good job in making sure the home ownership has increased a lot.
That's one of the the brighter spots, I think, in terms of dealing with the economy itself. That is that the housing is coming back now, and you think that's a good sign. Huh?
Yeah, even though number of bankers, unfortunately, have taken advantage of the people who cannot afford to buy this, but still, see, they are interested in their commission up front. So they are, not observing the real rules and regulations before they make a loan, because they are interested in the upfront commission. So whatever happened, there was a calamity in the housing market for a while. Now, thank heavens, because of the President Obama's home ownership policies, number of us are able to pay, and if we cannot pay, temporarily, there is protection from the government. So that's why number of these companies are coming forward and say, look, this is all right. If we will rewrite the mortgage, because government has assured them that it is okay for these people if they have missed a couple of payments, we are going to back them up. That is that home protection law, which has helped hundreds of thousands, if not millions of homeowners in this country. If you pay attention in some of these commercials, people are calling you saying that even if your house value goes down,
okay, very good,
we are going to make a loan to you.
Very good.
I'm sure you got some calls too.
I think we all have.
Oh yeah, and so you can see, because of the guarantee that the government has given, these people are going more aggressively, and don't forget, the upfront commission is a lot. And they make loans. And regardless of what happens here, the home ownership in this country has increased tremendously.
And been assured of prosperity in a real sense with what has been done. And of course, Dr. Paruchuri, let me thank you for bringing by that excellent information and giving us an excellent review over where we started from during Mr. Obama's administration, and as to where we are, as well as some of the prospects of moving further. And I want to thank you, and let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you, and good morning.
Thank you all.
Very good.